Hello and welcome to the Cove's Body, Mind and Soul series. In this episode, we will be looking at the Protestant faith. Our guest speaker today is Reverend Ralph Estherby. Pastor Ralph is a member of the Religious Advisory Committee to the services. He represents 6 Christian denominations and oversees 116 military chaplains. He has been involved in pastoral, leadership and chaplaincy ministry since 1988. He was a senior pastor of an ACC church for 28 years and joined the military in 2009, where he served in various postings, with his last uniform role as the senior chaplain of the 2nd Division. We're also joined today by Chaplain Ivan Khan, who will be assisting us with the interview. Pastor Ralph, welcome and thanks for supporting the Cove. My first question for you is, Protestant tradition is a Christian faith, but what is distinctive to the Protestant faith?
Well, it's great to be with you, Mark. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. So, what is the Protestant faith? Well, each of the groups that we have in our group that I represent have slightly different emphasis, but we have the common ground of being what would be called an Orthodox Protestant, which focuses on the centrality of the person of Jesus Christ, his life, his sacrificial death in our place, and the truth of his resurrection and what that actually means to us and how that gives us hope for eternity. And pretty much that's what we're focused on in Protestantism, is the centrality of Christ and the fact that he is wanting to make a difference in our lives.
Great, short and sharp to the point. How does the distinctive aspects of the Protestant faith support a believer, and what difference does it make to the individual?
So the Christian faith is a deeply personal journey. I think I don't think I've ever met two Christians that are exactly the same. It appears differently for different people. Some people are very, very mystical in their experience of Christianity. Others are more, I guess, empirical and academic. But there seems to be some very common traits which come across to the individual and the way that faith actually supports people. And the Christian faith provides a great sense of purpose for people. The answers to the question, where are we, what are we here for, and what are we achieving with our life, and what is the purpose of life beyond chasing the dollar or chasing family or chasing other things. It actually gives you a sense of purpose that you have that God actually has part of your life and impacts your life and actually has a bit of a plan for you as well. So that's the first thing I think, is that people find purpose through their faith. The second thing is they find a sense of direction. So Christian faith provides a sense of direction for people. It really helps people handle some of the complexities of life and the challenges that emerge. I don't know about you and those who are listening today, but I know that this last 24, 48 months has been pretty challenging to navigate for everyone. And as a Christian, it's great to have that sense of direction, a sense of this is the way we need to walk in, this is the direction we need to follow. It's a great clarity that is actually provided for people. And I think so. It's that sense of purpose, that sense of direction. But it's also, thirdly, the Christian faith really provides a source of strength. Because Christians have an individual relationship from a personal place and loving God, they actually are able to draw upon that relationship at times of deep need and deep distress and deep challenge and find great help at the moment when they most need it. It guides and guards them along the way. If you like, it becomes the centre point of our life and the rest of our life emerges out of it. So for me, faith supports the life of the individual and makes a massive difference. And without it, we actually we wouldn't be the people that we actually find we are.
Great. How does the Protestant faith support defence capability?
Well, interestingly, we just went through a process with the Religious Advisory Committee for the services to actually articulate this in a meaningful way. And we found that as each of the faith groups that are represented in defence actually talked and looked at this, we found that there was a massive alignment with the ADF values of service, respect, courage, excellence and integrity. And there is a an absolute consistency of alignment between Protestant Christianity and those values. A vibrant faith helps individuals actually develop those values as part of their normal life. So we're all about service. You know, the nature of Christianity is about service. It's about caring for one another. It's about caring for those who need support. Jesus said himself, I came to serve, not to be served. Respect and courage, both very, very strong elemental aspects of Christianity. It's respecting everyone, you know, and having courage to stand up for those that can't defend themselves, and doing things well. The excellence idea is very much a Christian trait of working hard and providing the best you possibly can in whatever situation you find yourself. And of course, integrity is that whole issue of how you deal with moral dilemmas. It's just making sure that in the midst of those challenging moments, you don't cross the line and you know what is right and what is wrong. I think that Christians should be honourable, hard-working, honest, friendly and resilient people. I know we don't always get it right, but I'm really thankful for the forgiveness side of Christianity where when we blow it, we can get forgiven. But the reality is we should be striving for an expectation of hope and of a high moral expectation of ourselves. And we should have a good understanding of authority and how that works. So I think all of those things play together to really work well in defence. And so I think faith actually supports defence capability really powerfully because the people who are supporting in our faith groups are already emulating many of the values that would be required for service across the defence. And so I think it actually has a huge impact on defence capability. And I've seen that in very, very practical ways as well through my military career.
How can a commander support someone of the Protestant faith?
Look, I think this is fairly interesting. That really, I would say most members of the Protestant faith are going to be pretty low drag on special requirements. There's not really a lot that needs to be done to make allowance for them. One of our denominations that I represent has a dietary requirements as mandated aspect of their personal discipline. But for most people of the Protestant faith, it's a matter of personal choice. And so really there's not even a need for the dietary requirements. But individuals in our church tradition are encouraged to develop really personal disciplines and patterns of life which stimulate and support their personal spirituality. So they pray, they read the Bible, they may meet together with other Christians, etc. But none of those things need to be necessarily all that formal all the time. Regular church attendance for worship is practice, but it's absolutely not mandatory as a requirement. This must happen at a certain time on a certain date for most Protestants. There's some flexibility. So even if commanders can just make a little bit of allowance for people to maybe attend a church service if there's one on, or they can run a book service, or they can just be allowed to grab a few moments for prayer here or there, it really doesn't cause a lot of problems, I think, for commanders. I think some of those groups also can be quite beneficial for those who are maybe not of the Christian background. They may find them interesting as an opportunity as well to be part of that. But if commander is happy to let people worship according to their own pattern, pretty much you should be good to go. It shouldn't be too many problems which are caused that.
Fantastic. Padre, any questions from you?
Look, I don't have any specific questions in regards to what Ralph has said. You've done a pretty good job, Ralph, explaining those things. It's been quite succinct and comprehensive. One of the questions Mark and I have been asking is, what can commanders do to help soldiers of different faith? And but I'd like to ask you a different one because we are of a similar faith tradition. So my question would be, what can commanders expect from someone who professes a Protestant Christian faith?
Well, I think really what I was trying to get at before was that I would hope that they should expect from someone who presents as a Protestant Christian, they should expect honesty. They should expect friendliness, resilience, and for us to be hardworking, because they're all things that are part of what we're meant to be doing, Isaac. The reality is that we've got commands like do, or whatever you do, do to the glory of God. Those sorts of scriptures and statements really encourage the Christian to just do a good job with whatever we do. And we shouldn't be slacking off and shouldn't be taking it easy. So I would hope that if a commander speaks to a Protestant Christian, their yes, their no is no. What they say they're going to do, they're going to follow through on that. And I think they can have great confidence in that. And I think also that they're not necessarily going to be too reactive to people who are not of faith. We understand that, yes, we have a deeply held faith, but we also understand that a lot of people don't, or a lot of people have not been exposed or even explored that as yet. And so we're not parochial about it, but we're very happy to talk about it as well. And I have found that especially in the less liturgical end of the scale, which most of the churches I look after, they're not so, I guess, focused on detailed liturgy. They're more focused on this personal expression and relationship. I think they really, really fit well with most defence people who just want to have a fairly no-nonsense approach to life in general.
That's good. Thank you.
So that's about it. Is there any final points, Pastor Ralph, that you want to throw out there?
I just really want to say thank you for the opportunity to present today. Really, the reality is I think that faith is a vital aspect of people's experience, and a lot of people, more and more people, are less and less connected to a traditional faith group through their family, etc. And I would encourage people not to discount the solid opportunity that is offered and encouraged through the Protestant churches that I represent, the APC, Pentecostal Baptist, Churches of Christ, Lutherans, Salvation Army, and Seventh-day Adventists, which are the 6 groups I look after. They all have people who have had really, really personal and wonderful encounters with Christ and find that it has been a powerful resource for them in every aspect of their life, and it's definitely helped them in their defence service as well.
Pastor Ralph, thanks for your time today. We are grateful for the very valuable information you've provided, and I'm sure this will definitely assist our listeners. We also thank our listeners for tuning in. That concludes our Christian denomination talks. Our next talk is Faith and Diversity, concentrating on non-religion. If you have any questions, please feel free in contacting soldiercove@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to get back to you. Don't forget to download the Cove app. It's PME in your pocket, anywhere, anytime.